Welcome to this episode of the Comedy Defect podcast. My name is Winter, I'm a comedian, and this is my show. Those that are new to the show, welcome. Those that are old to the show, welcome back. This is January's episode, and I hope I'm catching you after Christmas, after eating loads, drinking loads, and you made a good, easy New Year's resolution. And you didn't have too many arguments with your family, you played Scrabble, you figured out the cheats for all those games, so when next year, when it comes around to playing all those games, you could do those things, especially with Monopoly. Just get Park Lane and Mayfair, and you're going to smash the shit out of that game. Now, I hope that this January, you've made the resolution that, you can do less. I know about you, right? The last 10, more, maybe 15 to 20 years, I've been smashing myself into the ground trying to get stuff done. And I've succeeded. I've worked my way to the middle, and I'm happy with that. So this year, my resolution is to do an awful lot less. I bought a few games for my PS4. I'm not going to upgrade to PS5 yet because I'm not ready for that. It's too much money. I'm not going to do it. Got loads of games on the PS4 to play, and I'm enjoying it. It's great. So I'm going to do some of that, do some voiceovers from home, and I'll do a few gigs. I'm not going to smash myself and just drive everywhere this year because, during the lockdown, I worked harder than I've ever worked in my life. I got myself a spotlight profile, and, I got myself some acting work, and I got some voiceover work. I love comedy. I've written a new show, and that is in the pipeline. That's going to be maybe next year. I might do an odd maybe preview this year, but I'm going to do a few gigs. I'm not going to hammer the hell out of myself and gig like 4 or 5 times a week. I don't need to do that anymore. I'm happy with where I am. So, look, whoever bookers, if you're listening, if you're not listening, it doesn't matter. I don't care. I'm just going to do what I want to do, and that's what I feel that everyone else should do as well. Just take a bit of time out. You don't know how long you're going to be here, not in a depressive way, but no one knows what's coming around the next corner. So, take stock. That's what I've been doing the last maybe a couple of months, I'm kind of going, what, this year, I'm just going to take it easy, enjoy my life, exercise a bit, rest a bit, and get some stuff done. Because I don't know if everyone works as hard as I have been working, but you know what? I've been smashing the hell out of it. And I don't know. I think that sometimes you can do too much. When you put your foot on the gas too much, the wheels spin. You're not going anywhere. So you know what? I'm going to put her in first and let's see how she rolls. That's what I'm going to do. Maybe even just drop her back down to neutral and coast for a little bit. Because you know what? When you think about when you enjoy your life the most, you're a kid, right? There wasn't really anything on the list. You're just like, okay, cool. I'm a kid. I'm doing that thing. So this is the year. I'm going to enjoy a second childhood before my actual second childhood from senility pops in. So look, guys, that being said, this is episode 93. That's right. 93 episodes of the Comedy Defect podcast. We're nearly at 100, guys. This is one of my favorites. I love recording this episode. And when I was editing it back, it made me laugh so much. This person is an absolutely brilliant comedian and a lovely person as well. And that doesn't always go together in the comedy circuit. I promise you that. A lot of people talk about comedy and say, oh, I haven't met that many bad people. I've met a few, actually. I won't mention them, but I've met a few. I'm going to be honest. But Charmaine Davies is an absolutely lovely person. She runs 2 nights. She runs Comedy Wings down in Peace Havens in the Burger and Bird, and Funny Fursdays, which is back on at the Hotel Pelirocco. That's the name of the place. Hotel Pelirocco. It's back on because it was cancelled, because we'll talk about that in this show. But we'll talk about why it was cancelled. Because some people just don't like fun, maybe. I talked to Charmaine for an hour, and it was an absolute pleasure. I hope you enjoy this excellent episode 93, with Charmaine Davies. She's Charmaine Davies on all the social medias. This is episode 93. Charmaine Davies, excellent comedian and promoter from Brighton. Enjoy. Charmaine Davies, thank you for coming on the Comedy Defect. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I am just coping with life at the moment, just kind of keep breathing in and out. As say, I've tidied everything in the last 2 lockdowns. I'm just retidying everything now. I might put the TV facing the wall, just for the sake of something different, really, just so I can just get on with my life. I mean, I started to empty the house. I just want, do you know what I want in my house? I want an echo, is what I want. I want a place where you could just so there's absolutely nothing. It's minimalist, completely. I want that kind of like an echo, so it feels like there's other people there that are listening to me.
That's what we all want, I think, at the end of the day. Listen to me.
Yeah. Is that my voice again? Oh, that's a beautiful voice. Oh, it's mine. That's fine.
yeah, exactly. Perfect.
But yeah, so what have you been up to, and how are you coping with all this stuff at the moment?
Well, I think like everybody, I have my days where I just am at my wit's end going, I just don't know what to do. What's the point of anything anymore? And then I sort of have a good old cry, get it out of my system and put my lipstick on and then go, right, I've got this. And then I have a few good days and then I have a breakdown again. So it's like swings and roundabouts. It's like up and down. It's up and down. But I think, you know, as long as you realise you're allowed to have your bad days, I think that's the thing. You let yourself off the hook and just go, I don't care, just I'm going to have a cry in bed all day, and then just let it out. And it's good, I think, to release your emotions, because I think when you get too pent up, that's when the whole trouble starts. But I just have to treat yourself well, treat yourself like your best friend. That's what you got to do.
That's good. Like, I mean, it's with that kind of let it out. I mean, I've struggled with that, like in many. It's probably a man thing anyway. We don't have that button. They just, you know, you can go, right, fine, this is happening now. And I think that generally it kind of like it just starts to pop up in weird places, you know, because you shove that emotion down and it just goes, oh, bro, what you mean you don't have any milk? Oh my god.
yeah, exactly. The smallest thing kicks you off then. So I think it's good. And you know, those around you who love you sort of will understand because we're all in the same boat, as I say. I mean, I'm sure everybody's having those days where you just think, oh, what's the point? But there is a point, and you know, I'm trying to be optimistic. You've got to think like positive, and you know, and try and give yourself a to-do list to make yourself just do anything. I've just cleaned a wardrobe out today, all living the glamorous life. So that's sort of like, well, I may as well clean up that mess that's been sitting there for the last 3 years. Do you know what I mean? Now I've got an opportunity to do it.
Mary Kondo is just like, she was a couple of years too early, wasn't she? Really, she should have released the book now. And I'm like, oh my god, like we've gone platinum, whatever that means in book terms. I don't know. Maybe, you know, Amazon, you know, New York Times bestseller, and like straight to #1. And then people just gone, actually, this is cluttering up my house. I need to throw this away as well.
Well, the thing is, I've got already. It's like day 1 of lockdown 300 or whatever lockdown we're in, and I've got another massive box of stuff to give to a charity shop, but obviously they're all shut, so the clutter still remains, but now it's just in a box.
At least it's ready to go, you know. At that moment you're just like, okay, DEFCON blue, here we go, we're going to go straight to the charity shop. There's big queues and everything out there, I know. But I guess that, you know, like back in the day, I'm sure you must have watched, you know, League of Gentlemen with the charity shop bit, when they're going, when they're like, you know, give us plastics, you know, they with the drum bag, and it's like, it is like that. There's a lot of like elderly people that work in there. I guess they're just trying to protect those people that work in those places, the volunteers.
Oh, totally, absolutely. Because most of the people that work in charity shops are volunteers anyway, and they've all special needs or elderly or that kind of thing. Do you know, actually, many years ago, my friend she was a manageress of a charity shop, and I used to volunteer. And if I had a bit of spare time, you know, it was like when you're an actress or in the arts and you're resting. I thought, well, I'll go and donate my time. And I used to go and work at her shop. Oh, and some of the things that would come in, it would make your hair curl. You think, really, that should have just gone, you know, well, it's just sex toys and things like that. And you're just like, oh my God, I'm touching this with my hands.
Wow.
Absolutely horrific. But it was character building for sure.
I'll bet. I mean, that's probably why they've put a ban on accepting electricals now, isn't it? No electricals now. This we don't need that. We just don't need the extra stress and just kind of the grottiness of those used sex toys. I mean, oh my God.
It was just horrifying. Somebody would think they were doing such a good job. You know, I brought you these fabulous things in for you to sell in the shop, and you just like open the bag and you're like, really?
Yeah. Someone's going to get some pleasure out of this. You know what I mean? That's it. You know, it's going to give someone an awful lot of joy.
Well, whatever floats your boat.
Yeah, I'm sure. But like, you know, like what was the name of the charity shop? Was it like a particular one you can not say for love?
Oh no, it was Scope. It was Scope,
right.
Yeah. But another friend of mine works at one, and the stories he tells me about things that they get donated. And there is a charity page on, it's a page on Facebook about charity shop, and it's called Charity Shop Shit. And can I say that?
Yeah, anything.
And it's great. You should see the stuff people donate or buy. If you want to get away from the doom and gloom, I would join up to that Facebook group.
Brilliant.
Charity Shop Shit.
That's brilliant. I live in Hemel Hempstead, like, and I've been trying to get rid of a load of stuff. Like, I got a garage and just emptying it. I've nearly finished completely emptying it. It's amazing. It's such a great feeling. I had alloy wheels from my car that that got stolen. Because I had a piece of junk for driving for a long time, and I got a car that actually could move faster than make an appointment to overtake something. And like, so I had this car, and I let the dog out in the morning, and the dog was sniffing around my car. I was like, what's going on? And he was like, and there was a load of rubbish underneath my car, and I was like, what And I walked up to it, and there's 3 alloy wheels missing off my car. And I was like, oh no. And then a little note saying police had been notified. My neighbour saw it happen and then informed the police. And I was like, we should just let them take the 4th one, because now I can only claim for 3 alloy wheels. So anyway, I had these alloy wheels for years, and I finally got rid of them. And it's just like, they're bad luck. You're just like an albatross around your neck. You're like, right, I can't get rid of these at all. But yeah, I mean, I was like, right, I just thought the note, before I read the note, I thought it was a note was on there saying, look, I'll be back in 5 minutes for the 4th one, like, you know what I mean? But
can you imagine? Yeah.
So like, yeah, like, they're getting rid of the stuff. I've been doing that as well, and just kind of like just trying to get, I think I understand the hoarder thing now, with the people collecting a load of stuff, and you got kids, and if you got kids and whatever, like, you kind of like start emptying the place for them, so they don't have to get rid of your shit when you're old and you're decrepit and fucked, and like, you kind of like, and so you see the fear in the on the hoarder show in the eyes of the people who own that stuff, and I'm okay, right. They do hoard bags of shit as well. I understand. This is, there's a limit.
But have you seen those programs, for hoarders?
Yeah,
it's incredible. I mean, because I've done reality television myself in the past, I know how things can be altered to make, look more dramatic and stuff on television, obviously. And so I do wonder, part of me thinks, is this just fake? How can anyone live in all... I mean, they literally have got a hole that they crawl through to get to their bedroom or whatever, because of all the rubbish that they've got, and the bathroom's just full of, I don't know, empty bags and just rubbish and tin cans that they just obviously have the inability to... But I think, is it fake, that sort of programme?
I don't know. Like,
do people live like that?
I've started to see the logic behind it in a way, which is terrible, I guess. Because you're like, kind of, right, as you start getting rid of stuff, the last thing you got to get rid of in a family is you, isn't it? Because you've got rid of all the stuff, and you're the last thing of the puzzle that needs to just be taken to the recycling centre or the hole in the ground to put yourself in. Because all that stuff that is being hoarded is just basically, it's like a pyramid, like the catacombs that you can just hide in, so they can't get you. It's like, you can't find me. I'm in my secret hiding place.
It's incredible. Mind you, we've discovered, I think, through Zoom calls and stuff like that, you definitely can see how people do live. Thanks to lockdown and the Zoom calls you have. I think it's the law, isn't it? If you do a Zoom call, you have to have a bookcase behind you to make you look sort of intelligent. Yeah,
and don't even try and put that book that book wallpaper up. It's awful. Everyone like, what were you thinking? I mean, there's like, it's just repeated the same like, shape books. At least if it was like different books, for like maybe a 2 meter square, some really, really smart ones, you've never read them, but it looks great to have on your wall. Then it's a little bit different, but it just looks, it's awful. It's like, what were you thinking with that? Come on, just use your imagination.
Well, luckily I've got a little bookcase in my bedroom, and I had to do this sort of television thing, and they obviously wanted to do it through Zoom or whatever, and I was just like, what can I get in the background to make me look amazing? And my friend had just done this amazing painting, and he'd been doing a lot of paintings during lockdown, and he'd sent me it, and so I made sure that was in the background, and sort of trying to give other people a plug while I'm on the BBC.
Great, that's it, brilliant. Like, like sponsor, like the whole T-shirt of everything, like,
Coca-Cola can behind me, product placement.
Coffee cup, like coffee shop on like T-shirt and everything. Nice, that'd be great. Sponsored by Brighton Fish and Chips, just on the corner or whatever.
Harry Ramsden's.
You've been doing painting as well, haven't you? You've been like making T-shirts of that Seagull. A name slipped my mind. Jonathan. It's great. I love it.
Well, that was it. That was another lockdown pastime, really, that just happened because prior to lockdown, I mean, for the last few years, I think I've been posting about my little seagull that fell off the roof of my flat. I live quite high up in this old building near the seafront, and this little seagull, when he was a baby, fell off. I basically reared him from a baby, and now 4 or 5 years later, he's a resident on my roof terrace.
Nice.
And he thinks I'm his mum, and he's like a little dog, and he sits at my feet. Not in this weather because I daren't go out, but in the summer he just sits there. We have a cup of tea and sit in the sunshine. And he's become quite popular on Facebook. People sort of always ask me, "How's Jonathan?" They don't even know I've got a boyfriend. They just know I've got a seagull. Which is bizarre. So anyway, during lockdown, I just started thinking, well, Jonathan could have little adventures, and just started drawing this silly cartoon of Jonathan. And I gave him a little sidekick, which was a crab called Colin.
Great.
And I put, how brave of me to put them up on Facebook. And I thought people are going to go, well, they're rubbish. Aren't they rubbish? And I would be like, okay, then bye. but people were going, oh, I really like them.
Yeah.
So I just continued to bore people with my drawings, and Jonathan and Colin became, Ziggy Stardust, and Colin the Crab with his little roadie, and or then they were on this Helter Skelter on the pier, and they are Mods and Rockers. So they've had all these little drawings that I've done, and everyone keeps going, you should do a book.
Yeah.
And I've done so many now that I should really. But they've got their own little Facebook page, and
brilliant.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. People were buying prints and T-shirts.
Yes.
So yeah, that was quite a surprise little industry.
Yeah.
And I was selling Christmas cards with them on.
Oh, nice. Have you got mugs as well?
Do you know, I haven't expanded the business that far just yet. I've just got as far as cards, T-shirts and prints. Maybe this lockdown I'll extend the range.
I think it's great. It'd be a brilliant children's book as well, wouldn't it?
Yes.
And,
it was. I was talking to a few people about it. I think it's just, you know what it's like when you're a comedian, you have to push yourself to approach promoters to go, look, I'm really good, will you book me? You've got to have that confidence, and you always have that sort of feeling, oh, I'm not going to be good enough.
Yeah.
And I always think that about this sort of book situation. If I go, oh, do you want to publish my book of drawings of a seagull? They'll go, no, you're rubbish. And then I'll just retreat back into my cave again.
Yeah, but
it's having that confidence, isn't it? And going, I can do this. I can do this.
But people like it, and people. That's an amazing story behind the whole. It's a story you buy into, isn't it? It's like you found this seagull fell off the roof into your apartment area, rooftop, and you became its mom, and then you had this such a great backstory, and who wouldn't want to buy into that? And I think you can even sell it. Yeah, I say when it grows in popularity, it doesn't really. You don't have to do the big sell, because everyone's like, "Oh, we're going to pitch this TV show to this, whatever." And if you've already got people that are interested in it, that Facebook stuff will grow, isn't it, on its own?
Yeah, Maybe I should get him on Britain's Got Talent. Me and the Seagull.
Brilliant! That'd be brilliant. I'd love that. Amazing.
It'll be a sad backstory that he fell off the roof, but then he became a big star thanks to Simon Cowell.
And you're his manager. That's fine. I'm just manager. He just does his thing. Sometimes he wants to perform, sometimes he doesn't. Tonight wasn't his night. That's how it is.
He could make my fortune.
Yeah. That's it. They don't understand you, Jonathan. They weren't ready, mate. That's what it is.
I can't leave the house, but my Seagull can. So
oh yeah, nice.
He can go and earn some money for me.
Nice. Put them on Zoom calls and everything. Oh, have you done any Zoom gigs?
Do you know what? I'm one of those people. No, I haven't. Just the thought of it just fills me with despair.
It's like watching a home video. Like you've accidentally clicked on a home video and you're watching it for about a minute or so and going, why am I watching that? I don't know who these people are, and I don't really care. But I understand, it helps the need for a performer to let out that bit of steam, I guess. But
Oh, and I think some people have sort of taken to it quite well, and like myself, I would really rather not. I started in the first lockdown doing my little clips of impersonations of people. Like started off by doing Madonna, and I was doing Gwyneth Paltrow, and loads of little impressions and stuff. So I would rather do little, if I'm going to do anything, I think via the internet now, it'd probably be like little sketches rather than doing live comedy to avoid.
Yeah, because it needs to be, you need to have the connection there, and there really isn't any proper feedback or connection. And it's like having a cup of tea and PCP, isn't it, really? Yeah. That's what it's like, it's like, okay, right, all right, let's just, it's horrible as well. And like you can see just the light inside the comedian's eyes just dying. It's just like, this is nothing like I wanted it to ever be like.
Well, you can see the viewing figures in the corner, can't you? So I can just imagine how disappointed I'd be if they started to drop the longer I went on. And by the time I'd done my set, there was like no one. They'd all switched off. Just
talking to myself again. Well, we'll treat it as a practice.
Learning experience.
Yeah.
That's what. I've kept away from that. I've done interesting thing I did do via Zoom though was I was working with Brighton Acting and Film School. I think it's Brighton Film School, and obviously a lot of them have to work remotely now. And they're doing directors' courses and things like that. What they were doing was they were using actors. They were sending us the scripts, and then we'd all sort of like be in a Zoom room, and then they'd have a tutor watching them, and then they'd have the different directors basically directing us via Zoom. So even though we weren't in the same room as actors, we had to sort of interact as if we were. And it was, that was a bit odd, but it really learning, and it was a great experience actually. and I got paid for it. So yippee!
And did it work? Like, I mean, did you feel that it came off naturally, or?
Well, the piece that they used actually was we didn't actually have to be in the sort of pretend to be in the same room. We had to be on it was like a phone call kind of thing.
Right.
So it was an estranged couple, well, the couple that were getting divorced, talking to each other for the first time on the phone since they'd sort of separated and all this kind of thing. And it was a really awkward, difficult conversation. And you had to sort of get loads of different emotions out. But I think as you didn't have to be together, it was quite good to do it on Zoom. Yeah, that way,
Like, there's a lot of stuff advertised now at the moment for, oh, we've got this role, and you why is right? You shoot yourself, and what was that? You shoot yourself, and there's no money, but there's no money, but like you get a credit, get a credit. Great, good. Okay, I get a credit.
It could be a show reel.
Yeah, brilliant. I get a credit for what again? Oh, so directing, producing, editing, sound, everything. So basically, I get. I mean, so why are you in this again? Why are you telling me to do this?
Luckily, I did a couple of adverts during the sort of when it got a bit loose in the lockdown. Yeah. But we had to turn up on set and we didn't have COVID tests, but they took your temperature and everything. And you had to wear your masks all the time until they actually sort of said, and action, and then rip your mask off. So that was interesting. And then they had to keep the extras away from the featured people. But they actually, I must admit, that they did a really, really good job of sort of protecting us under those sort of things. So, yeah, I think this whole thing is quite the learning experience, if nothing else.
Oh, for sure.
And people learn and adapt, and I think we have to. We can't just sit there and go, all right, then we'll sit here doing nothing. I think, it's an amazing way to sort of learn how to be creative in other ways.
Oh, for sure. Like, you got to try and adapt and move it up, push it on a little bit and see what you can kind of possibly do in the constraints. It's like when you're trying to write a clean set, you're like, okay, right, I'm going to write clean. Oh, God. And sometimes the constraints can really help you, find a new way to be horrific.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a, time to, you can either sit there, this is my attitude to me. I mean, I know it's different for everybody, but my attitude is you can sit there and just mope and go, oh, that's it, it's the end of the world. Yeah. Or, I never knew that I'd be selling Seagull pictures, do you know what I mean?
Brilliant.
And make, I mean, obviously, I'm not Picasso, I'm not selling them for a fortune. But it's bread and butter money that I wouldn't have had unless, if I didn't do it.
That's it. That's great.
Or try.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
The thing, try.
That's it. And you don't know what it will evolve into. You never know what this beginning of something, but what is you don't know the end result.
There we go. We could be life coaches by the end of this podcast.
Why not? Let's do this.
Motivation for the public.
Oh man, I think
get out and draw a seagull, everyone.
No, you can't draw a seagull. That's your thing. So
that's my trademark.
How dare you? That's it. Jonathan the Seagull.
Draw an eagle or something.
Nice. Yeah, that's right. Whatever you want to do. You name the bird. Can't be a seagull though. That's it.
No, exactly. That's
you
mine.
will be sued. So
I'll make more money that way. Sue them.
Yeah, that's true. Please carry on. So you're on reality TV and Cheetahs, right? What was that? Was that fun?
That was the most probably one of the weirdest experiences of my life, and again a very learning experience because prior to being on Cheetahs, I always believed in reality television.
Right.
And I used to watch that show, and I loved the presenter Jerry Greco and how brave he was going in these situations to confront these cheating cads. Yeah. They'd be like, we know where they are. Let's go and confront them. They're in this pub, and then a big fight would kick off, and he'd go, "It's okay, I'll protect." And I'd love it. Oh my God! And I knew nothing. I was young and naive. Anyway, fast forward to I moved to Dallas, Texas.
Wow.
And I was sort of working as an actress and bits and pieces. And I don't even know what happened, but I got a phone call one day saying, "We'd like you to be on our TV show." And I went, "Oh, what is it?" And they said, "It's Cheetahs." And I went, "Well, I'm not even going out with anyone. No one's cheating on me." And they went, "Well, 80% of our show is real and 20% isn't." And I went,
right.
What? I'm thinking, oh, hang on a minute, you're shattering my world here. So I went, "Well, how much are you paying?" And they told me, and I went, "When do we start?"
Yeah. Great.
So the bloke who was playing I'm breaking a lot of showbiz rules, breaking the fantasy of reality telling, but the guy who played my husband I'd met 5 minutes before filming. The bizarre thing is when people to this day see that episode, they will still say to me, "Were you married to him in America?" And I'm like, if you watch the programme, my name's actually Kimber in the show, not Charmaine. And you've got to know from that it's not real. Yeah. But people believe what they see on television. I mean, even my mum went, "Oh, And I went, Mum, for goodness sake, do you even know me?
Yeah.
Hello.
You named me. You named me. And also, I would have told you if I'd have gotten married. You know, that's it. Oh, my God. Wow.
I didn't marry that lunatic. I married another one, didn't I?
There's plenty of them out there. They're all over the world. That's great.
Exactly.
Come back to the, you're saying like they treat it with, they put everyone in different places for the commercial you did before lockdown.
Oh, yeah.
They're like putting everyone in different like sections, like the extras are here, the features are here, and the actors are over here. And like, really like that's how they treat you on set anyway, isn't it? Okay, well, and there's this hierarchy thing, isn't there?
Oh
right?
my God! I mean, the best thing about that was I was one of the featured ones, which bizarrely I've seen the advert. I was in it for less than a nanosecond, but I don't care. The money's in the bank.
Yeah,
but so there's obviously because of COVID and everything, there's the makeup regulations have totally changed.
Yeah.
Well, there was makeup on set, makeup artists, and they looked like there was something out of some Contagion film. They were like masks and visors and everything. And anyway, I was a runner in this scene, and they wanted me to look sort of a bit sweaty. So the makeup artist came with this sort of sponge soaked in baby oil or whatever and started dabbing my face. And I went, oh. I said, I get the special treatment. She went, yes. She went, you're a feature. All the other extras are just going to get sprayed in the face.
Douse them again. Douse them with the hose. Like, oh my God. Wow.
I get the special treatment with a sponge.
Yeah, that's it.
That was quite funny. So, but it is a bit. It's like get on the bus to the extras and it's like just held in a holding pen all day and sitting around, done extra work. And the worst one was McDonald's advert, and it was a November night, really, really, really cold. We were filming this McDonald's thing, and I had to be in a rain machine. This girl was meant to go, mint, and bite into this burger, and I was meant to walk past. And 28 takes, me in the cold under a rain machine, and this girl kept getting like, well, she kept getting it wrong. I don't know how difficult it would have been. And the director's going, can you just do that line again? She goes, well, which one? Well, the only one you've got. Well, by this point, I've got like little warming pads in my shoes. Oh my God. And then 28 takes, and they went, and action, and I just lost my mind. I just went, eat the effing burger! I just lost my mind. And then I swore from that minute on, I would never do background work again.
Oh my God, funny. And then the director's like, I think we've got it.
Well, one of the still photographer guys came up to me and went, you had the line of the commercial. I went, what are you talking about? He went, just eat the effing burger was the line of the day. I'm sorry, I just cracked up.
That's great.
Dear. So after that I thought, it's just not worth doing.
No, it's painful. And like, do you know what funny? Like, I got a couple of years ago, I got PT because I was like feeling really bad about myself. I was like, okay, right, I got PT for like 3 sessions when I joined the gym, and I was like, okay, cool. And then the guy who was doing the PT with me was a Chinese guy, same height as me, little dude, and like he was there, and I was like, oh yeah, so, and he was like, oh, what do you do? And I said, I'm a comedian and stuff, and I said, oh, I had something happen recently, it was really great. I said, what do you do, like, apart from the gym, because you only work here part-time? I said, oh yeah, I'm a stuntman for the Pinewood Studios, and we just wrapped on Maleficent 2, and I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. He said, yeah, but they treat us like, like cannon fodder, basically. I was like, God. Jump through that hoop, it's on fire, okay, fine, okay, well, this one's broken, we need another stuntman. And they like the holding pens, he said, like, you're just like you're just like a lump of meat that they just direct at walls and things. And he said he was in the Chinese circus for years.
Wow.
And I was like, but I was just like blown away. I said, oh my God, that's amazing. Yeah, it's all right. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I love the circus. I've got a lot of friends in the circus. I used to, love the circus. God, but it's true. There is a sort of that
hierarchy kind of thing.
Yeah, like, the big superstars come. Tom Cruise comes walking through, and everyone's like, la, and bowing and scraping and whatever. I think the only time I ever had that kind of sort of weirdness of people just acting like I was some kind of celebrity, it was the weirdest thing ever. I did years ago. I was asked to play Marilyn Monroe for something, and people were treating me as if I was Marilyn Monroe, going, oh, can I get you a seat? Do you want me? And I was wearing these ridiculous shoes in the Marilyn outfit, and I had to come off the stage for a bit and sit down. I might put my feet up, and somebody went, would you like me to take your shoes off for you, Marilyn, and all this? And I'm like, are you weird?
Yeah.
What is wrong with you?
keeping you in character 24/7.
I was like, absolutely, thank you so much.
and like, where's my barbiturates, please? Where are they? I need them now.
Where's JFK?
Is he coming soon? So yeah, wow, amazing. So like, so have you always been performing then, Charmaine? Have you since a very young age, or have you like something you got into later?
Yeah, I started my mum sent me off to sort of stage school when I was about 2.5. Not because she wanted me to be a stage school kid or whatever, but because I was an only child, and she wanted me to go and make some friends.
Yeah, great.
So I just sort of did ballet and drama and all that, and I actually got to an age where I thought I wanted to be an archaeologist.
Whoa.
So,
Why though? What was the change? What was the connect there?
I don't know. I think my family had always been in antiques and that kind of stuff. Yeah. But I don't know about digging up bones or something. I don't know where that came from.
Was it the it was like Tony Robbins, like, and here's another series of small walls.
I think history fascinated me.
Right.
And where we sort of, and how we've come, from, actually we're still maniacs, aren't we? Like back in the day, we were all trying to kill each other at the end of the day. But no, I think it's fascinating. And I used to have a metal detector, and I'd go out with my granddad to wherever and go metal detect. Oh, the poor back garden was dug up to pieces. Me hoping to find some Roman coins in a Surrey council house. But I didn't, obviously. And so then, anyway, I don't know. Then I suddenly changed again and decided that I wanted to go back into doing drama and stuff, and went off to college and studied it. Theatre studies and film studies and all that stuff, dance. Yeah. But then, and I did it, and I went off and I became a red coat and a blue coat, and sort of learned how to use a microphone and compare it and all that during the holiday camps. Yeah. I loved those jobs. They were amazing.
What was the camp you were holiday repping? Is it repping or hosting?
I guess, you're hosting. I said, but either or, I suppose. Well, I worked for Butlins, and I was in Llandudno in North Wales. Right. And that was it was a lovely hotel right by the sea, but it was for all the old folk. It was no children allowed, so you had all these old folk, and it was great because you got to ballroom dance, and you could hear all their stories of back in the day when I was a kid, and they were really fascinating. And I sort of discovered that people should talk to old people more because they have great stories.
Totally.
And they are our past, and we can learn a lot.
So you're doing
I loved it.
You're doing the archaeology, but like in person. So you like you're digging their stories up from them. No, just,
exactly.
And you're like, look, just stay with me. I want to hear the rest of it. No, focus. No, we're getting to the end of the story.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, I've got a fascination with old things, obviously, haven't I? But so
that's really cool though. So did Indiana Jones have any influence on your archaeology, or was it just your granddad, being interested in history and doing stuff with him too, or was it like your own? I think it was my mum and
my granddad. Great. Yeah, I wasn't really into Indiana Jones.
Fair play. You did the right way. You went the right way.
Watched that. Maybe I'd have been interested in it.
No, you did well. I'm impressed. I mean, mine was probably like it was like, I think in the 80s when Indiana Jones came out, there was a big rise in archaeologists. Like, because I was wow, that sounds like a really cool job.
I think it was a subliminal thing then.
And then with the Jaws, there was like a massive increase of marine biologists as well. It's like, we'll do it with sharks. No, you spend all day with algae all the time, and it's just like, look, algae, and this is how it multiply. And it's a big letdown. People spend years doing that, masters in, and then it just like it falls apart. Because of the actual reality of the whole thing.
Yeah, Jaws has always traumatised me from a young child. I remember seeing the posters of that just shark's mouth and the person swimming above it, and to this day I'm a bit frightened to get in the water.
Yeah, that's it. It does definitely.
Mind you, it's Brighton Beach. Who wants to go in that? It's freezing.
It does hook into that fear for sure, right? So when did you first get into comedy then? When did you go, right, okay, I want to be funny as well as like an actor?
Again, that was quite an accident because it was all going quite fabulously in America, and then I won't bore you all with it, but
I love it. Go on, go for it. I'll hear it all.
It all went a bit horribly wrong. And I came back sort of broken, penniless, with a bag full of clothes and life not on the streets. It wasn't quite that bad, but from living in a big old house with a pool and a 5-car garage and everything to just suddenly in a bag of clothes again. That's why actually all that chucking out stuff and just stuff at the end of the day. That's what I learned is it's just stuff, and you can always replace it. God, I've been back in England now for about 10 years, and my flat, I'm just chucking stuff out. You can tell. It's amazing how you can much so if you can get in 10 years. But no, I came back and I was I was really depressed. My whole life had just gone pear-shaped. And I was very depressed and I kept crying all the time. And a friend of mine said, but actually when you're not crying, you're quite funny. And you should try doing a bit of stand-up. Yeah. And they were putting on a show and they said, you've got 2 weeks to write 5 minutes and it will get your mind off your worries. And even though you've got your problems, it will get you stopping thinking about them for a bit. So anyway, cut a long story short, I did it. I still have it on video somewhere.
Oh, God. Amazing. The first gig. That's brilliant. Oh. That is brilliant to have the first gig on video, or like, what was that, on VHS somewhere?
Oh, I have no, it's on my computer, it's on my laptop somewhere.
That's amazing.
Somebody did it on their phone and it was, so that was, madness. I still sort of remember how scared I was. But it's good to get the nerves. Don't get me wrong. If I ever gig again, I'll still get nervous. Yeah. Especially after lockdown. Our first one back, we'll all be petrified.
Are you superstitious in any way? With the acting stuff? Because sometimes people get very superstitious with things like, but do you do any kind of like a OCD things like 1, 2, 3, turn around 3 times and then you go on? Or just
the only time I suppose I just pray I'm going to get the part. That's the only I don't do anything but go, please, that was I just smashed that audition. Give me the part, please give me the part. But no, I don't really have any of that. No, I know some people do. They really do. But I just sort of go, right, let's do this. Let's do it the best we can. Yeah. All eyes, teeth and tits.
Yeah, great. That's it. Great. That's it. Classic. That's the classic for sure. The first gig, do you remember your first joke you wrote?
I can't at all. Not off the top of my head, no. No.
Do you remember what it was to do with?
The last joke I wrote, actually.
Oh.
It's been a long time. I've sort of gone, oh well, I'll just draw a bloody seagull.
Yeah, that's it. The first gig went well. Like I presume it did.
Yeah, well, what it's like when you first start gigging, all your friends go, and then the more you gig, your friends just don't go anymore. Yeah. You could be the most famous comedian in the world, and they wouldn't go because they saw you like 7 years ago. It's like, oh yeah, I'll come again. They never do.
And they see you as a thing, don't they? They see you as a thing, as just their friend as well. You're not that, you're not that person on stage. I know who you really are.
Yeah. That's why I don't invite my mum, because she'll go, that didn't happen. I'm like, no, because it's a joke, mum. And do I need to explain the theory of joking to you? Yeah. The first gig was, it was great. The adrenaline sort of, I remember the adrenaline going, oh my God, I did it. And I know, looking back, I do remember that, I spoke really, really fast. It was like, and I did this, and I did that. And I didn't give anybody a chance to sort of go,
yeah.
And then they all got a bit scared. I could tell if you watch it back, they sort of go, are we meant to laugh here, or is she just going to keep talking?
That's it.
But then you learn to have those pauses, and then, I'll just wait for my little applause break, and then they don't come. You go, okay, empty. Okay. It was obviously funnier in my head.
I know, funny. And looking at your bio as well, like you did, is it Midgets and Mascots with Gary Coleman? Is that right?
Jesus. Yeah. That's always going to come back. That was incredible. Yeah. Gary Coleman.
Comedian Gary Coleman, is it?
No, not that comedian.
Which
Gary
one?
Coleman. The one from Different Strokes.
Okay.
He was the little black dude.
Yeah.
Yes,
I know who you mean. Yes, I know.
What you talking about, Willis?
Of course. What was that show he did with when he was
Different Strokes?
Is that what? That's it. Okay, there you go. You've nailed it. brain reaching for the thing, and you've already said it. Yeah, go backwards, Winter. Yeah, I got this. Yeah, it's fine.
Pay attention.
I'll keep it up here. Yeah, go on. So what was that like?
Well, that was bizarre actually, because I'd sort of seen him back in the day in Different Strokes as this little kid who was really cute, and then obviously over time his little cuteness wore off, and then he became a car park attendant, didn't he, and all this, and he was in all his parents had spent all his money and he was broke, so then he was doing all these crap films like this one. It's the premise of the film is very odd. It's Midgets and Mascots. It's about basic. I don't even think you Google it, everybody. I can't be bothered. Yeah. It's rubbish.
Right.
But anyway, Gary Coleman's in it, and what a little diva he was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I remember there was one scene with him, and all the little people, including Gary Coleman, had to have this sort of milk drinking competition, which apparently is impossible. You can only drink so much milk before you throw up.
Oh, is that right?
Don't even. Anyway, Gary Coleman starts having a big tantrum saying, but I'm allergic to milk. And he's like, well, you don't have to drink it. You just have to pretend to put it near your mouth. Yeah, but I could die. And he's like, you don't have to drink it. Just put it near your mouth. Well, it kicked off. I mean, you'd have thought he'd asked to kill his children or something. Yeah. He's like, you could kill me. And he just went storming off. And then he went outside, and I heard one of the public go, what you talking about, Willis? Don't ever say that to me. And he just stormed off to his trailer. I thought, oh yeah, when I'm famous, I'm going to be like that.
I see. Fully diva, yeah.
Yeah, full meltdown.
Nice.
And people go, oh, she's such a cow. But they probably do anyway, but I don't care.
How many shows have you written now, Charmaine? Have you written, you've been to the Fringe and stuff, Brighton Fringe every year, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, I didn't do, it didn't happen last year, did it? I didn't do it last year. Nobody did.
Yeah, it took a year off. It was your choice. It was like, no.
Yeah, funny that. But no, I have done it. Basically, I don't do an hour show. I don't think anyone could put up with me for an hour, quite honestly. But I split my shows, and I did the Brighton Fringe with Michael Mooney. Right. So he would do half an hour, and I would do the following half an hour. So, yeah, I mean, I get bored of myself, so I can only imagine what people would feel if they had me for an hour.
Well, I mean, that's our time now. No,
exactly. I really apologise. But sorry. The thing is, though, it's you and me talking, so that makes a difference.
Okay, fine.
It's banter.
That's right.
Whereas it's just me talking on stage like a mad lady is just, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, so go on.
No, I was just saying, I don't know if I can't put up with myself, so I just do half hours.
Yeah, the half an hour. Is it you just pure stand up now, or is it like a story arc, or what are you doing now?
I just try and I do have try and have a flow through sort of story. I do go off at tangents or whatever. I do like a bit of interaction with the audience. I think that's my old Butlins and Pontins days, sort of having a bit of banter with the audience, and sometimes they're comedy gold, as you know, anyway. Yeah. But you have to pick them wisely. For sure.
it's like, you don't kind of go, oh, this guy's asleep in the front row. Oh, fucking it. And this guy and this woman and fuck, oh my God, and his dog. They're like fucking the whole front row's asleep. Oh, can we get some new audience?
The scariest, I think, it wasn't. It didn't happen, fortunately. But there was an actor on before me at one gig, and while he was on, I'm thinking, I wonder. I was just checking the audience out, thinking, which one's going to be quite good to play with. And which one's not psycho, whatever. And there was this little grey old man who looked to be like he was enjoying him, and he was sitting there on his own, but he was laughing and chuckling and had his beer there. And then the comedian, I don't know where the comedian was from, but he wasn't British, but he was very funny and everything, and everyone was laughing. And all of a sudden, this little man who I thought, I'm going to have fun with him in a minute when I'm on, just went mad. Why don't you go back to where you come from, you bloody foreigners? I'm like, can you imagine if I'd picked on him? Totally. Anyway, the show had to be stopped. This bloke got kicked out.
Jeez.
So as you say, you've got to pick your audience wisely. I was like, sure. That was a close escape.
For sure. Any horror stories from your years of gigging?
I suppose... Well, there was... The funniest, I suppose, it wasn't really a horror story, but it was the funniest heckle at the end of a night was... you know how dreadful it is, or it can be, if you get booked to do a gig in a pub that hasn't got a separate room. It's in the main area where some people just want to have a quiet drink, and you're ruining their night by doing comedy in a corner.
Inflicting it on them, yeah.
Yeah. And it was one of those nights. But it'd been going all right. And then this bloke was sitting at the bar, and he hadn't really been doing anything wrong. He hadn't been too loud or anything. And I just remember saying, well, thanks. Hope you've enjoyed the show, everybody. Thanks for coming. Keep supporting live comedy. Or this bloke sitting at the bar, and why don't you just F off and build a barn in your garden and do effing comedy there now? Get out. Yeah. It was like, and it's good night from him as well.
Sponsored by this guy. Great. Oh my God.
The whole room just went, where did that come from?
Yeah.
It's like obviously been bottling it up all night.
Wasn't about the gig, was it? It was just like, just come here.
Oh my God, I've just remembered. It must have been just before, not Christmas just gone obviously, but the one before.
Yeah.
And we there was a couple of drunk people sitting in the audience. And it seemed to be, you could feel it sort of brewing on that particular table, but it was all simmering. It wasn't really kicking off.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the door, unfortunately, was right behind the act, where they'd positioned the whole sort of stage and everything. There was the exit was right behind the stage. Well, all of a sudden, one of the acts is on, and then it just kicks off on this table, and these two blokes start going, "I'll have you, no, I'll have you, no. What did you say to me?" And it literally, they fall out the door behind this. They literally push this comedian out the way and then out the door.
Wow.
And within literally a millisecond, I don't know where they got from. The police were there, literally, as if by magic. This police turned up. And it was all kicking off. Obviously, the show had stopped. I couldn't really see what was going on, but some, obviously, of the acts were so excited that they ran outside.
Some people are trying to throw themselves in between the fight, so they got a fringe show out of it.
The show must go on.
Yeah.
We must continue on the pavement.
Like, yeah,
and
totally.
they tasered one of the blokes, and then they dragged him off.
Oh, wow.
And then we got on with the show again.
Oh. You can't really follow that, can you? Really, you know what I mean? It's a hard one to, and well, if you'd like to be, and the taser section of the show is outside the door. Just got the sword that's at the door on the right. Oh wow, God.
Yeah, that's just come flooding back to me.
That's a coffee shop as well. That's not like how they must have some beef from previous years, right? Or
No, they were sort of it was Worthing, but I mean that's not. I don't know. It was.
Feud.
I think it was just before Christmas, so I think they were a bit tanked up.
Oh, right, okay.
So I think the police were I think that we were just down the road from a police station. Somebody said, and they just happened to be going past.
Jeez.
And then just happened to pull up at the right time.
Wow.
Taser somebody, drag them off.
Perfect moment. That's it. In the van. There you go.
My showbiz career's peaked now.
That's nice. That's a good story. And so you still, I mean, when like you're running Funny Thursdays, Funny Fursdays, isn't it, at the hotel? You still run that?
No, unfortunately, that got shut down a little bit before lockdown. Actually, the first lockdown. Yeah, it was a big council thing. A neighbour had been complaining, not about the comedy night, but a neighbour had been complaining, I live next door to a hotel and it's too noisy and all this rubbish. So the council sort of took their entertainment licence away or something. So that was a bit harsh.
That is a bit harsh, isn't it? It's like, well, you live next to a hotel. They're going to do things, isn't it? It's like, that's like, oh, I'm sorry, your TV is a bit loud. I'm going to complain to the council. They
didn't even go next door and say, look, can you turn it down a bit? Yeah. Or when the DJ's finished, can they be quiet or whatever? They just built this massive diary of dates and times and noise and then sent it straight to the council and gone, there.
God.
That'll teach you. But a lot of places, there's been several incidents in Brighton where people have moved in above a pub, like a music bar. Yeah. And then gone, it's too noisy. Well, hello, did you not know where you were moving to?
Exactly. You did not do like recce on the place. I mean, you walk probably like just around the back of a bar. You're on top of a bar. Like, how can you not see that? It's oh my God.
You're above a pub, even if it didn't have a band. It's going to be noisy.
Yeah, it's like
just people. Yeah, madness.
Like you're living like okay, right. I'm just I'm renting a house in Heathrow. Look, it's too noisy. Can you please stop the planes? I'm living under
I think that's what's happened actually. Because I went past Gatwick Airport the other day.
Yeah.
And the car park's empty. It's incredible because my only proper job was being an air hostess. So, and the car park was always constantly rammed. And went past the other day and there was one car in the car park of the whole of Gatwick.
Oh, God. That's crazy.
Wow.
That's just like ghost town, isn't it?
The world has stopped.
Have you seen Last Man on Earth? I can't remember who.
No.
It's very good. Very funny. Anyway, it's a side note that doesn't go anywhere.
Okay, I'll write that on my list.
But The Last Man on Earth is really funny. I thought it was about 4 seasons, so I really enjoyed it. It's. But
is it just on his own then? If he's the last man on Earth?
Yeah, well, things develop, and he turns out he's not technically the last man on Earth. There's a few other people, but it's just funny. It really goes off well. There's a lot of comedians in it too. I really enjoyed that series.
Cool.
It's a really good series, and it's like there's a guy and a girl who are in lots of comedic roles. They look like they're related, which they are. I know this sounds really ridiculous, but they are related. But they've seen them in many comedic roles. When you see the one I'm talking about, you'll know who I mean. If you see it, it's an American show. This one.
Oh
this
right, no,
that's
not them we're talking about.
It's like, look, I love the way I'm just taking this down a cul-de-sac and I'm just extending the cul-de-sac. I've built a whole estate at the end of this cul-de-sac here, where we're just going into little houses, going, oh, no, is it in here? No, it's in there. No, it's not there either. I mean, the lockdown, right? You've become a radio presenter on Deluxe Radio now. Is that right?
Yes, yeah. I've worked all these years of being a co-presenter on other people's shows.
Great.
I've now got my own. Hey. Oh, you lucky people! 2 hours of me every Wednesday. I think when it was Wednesday between 6 and 8 on Deluxe Radio.
Great.
No, it's great. What I've learned actually is when you're somebody's sidekick on a radio show, because I used to do a lot on talk radio with Penny Smith and Dan Wootton from The Sun and all that lot. But it's easier to be their sidekick because they'll go, oh, we're just talking about this now.
Yeah.
And I'll go, okay. Where they've had their producer write their whole show for the last, their 2 hours or whatever they're on, and I've got to do my own. It's like, oh, no one's pre-prepared a script to have. Okay, I've got, so yeah, there's a lot more hard work in it, but it's fun, and I've been getting some good viewing figures, so that's been good.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, so yeah, because I record it from home.
Oh, great.
And it's actually my boyfriend that edits it all together, because he's a whiz on a laptop.
Brilliant.
So I just do all the bits of talking, and then he sticks the music in together and gels it all, and then bish bash bosh, it's pre-recorded and off it goes.
Nice little package then. That's brilliant. So just like Gift is working from home, isn't it? It's like,
totally. I'm never going to leave the house again.
Like voiceovers. You're like, okay, I got to do voiceover. Oh, I've got to go in that room. That's it. But yeah,
it's great doing self-tapes as well for auditions, because it saved me a fortune, actually. Another plus point of lockdown is that every 5 minutes going up to London for an audition. And now, because it's all home self-tapes, it saves me a fortune.
That's brilliant, isn't it? It's just great. I mean, you could just do it again and again and again.
Yeah, exactly. Rather than 3 seconds in front of a casting agent that goes, yeah, thanks. and then you go, I've just spent 25 quid for that. Oh.
Totally. Your name, please. Okay, thank you.
yeah, don't even look at you in the eye. Okay, bye.
I know this one. Yeah, that's it. For fuck's sake, eat the burger. That's it. With Jonathan and Colin, right? Is there what else you got, kind of? What else are you doing at the moment? Like, just kind of like, what's the next?
Well, this is it, because when Boris mentioned yesterday, it's all going to basically, we're going back to lockdown again, and it's just like, right, how am I going to? What am I going to do? And I'm thinking about now. Obviously, we're friends. So give me your honest idea. I'm going to thinking about doing a comedy character. Now, how do you feel about comedy characters?
Do you know what? I think they're perfect for sketches and online stuff.
Yeah.
I think they're much more to look at and to enjoy. I think that if it's just a person, everyone goes, oh, it's just a person. You know what I mean? But if you got a character, definitely that works for online stuff and sketches. Yeah. So go for it. Tell me.
Oh no, because I was thinking about doing, because all these Instagram girls with their big trout pouts and all that. Well, they're losing money now because they can't go around the world globetrotting, having their picture in front of the Eiffel Tower and all that, and getting their gazillion fans. So I thought I could be a has-been Instagram star, trying desperately to try and keep my career.
Yeah.
And the lame-ass things I'll do while in lockdown to keep my... but it'd be like, I think I'm going to try and do it like a little mockumentary.
Yeah. It's like, I said before, it's like... even at gigs and stuff, you film a gig, like you film like gigs trying to get like a good video or something like that, and if the stuff doesn't work, it's like repeatedly, it's just a chronological documentary of your descent into madness, isn't it? And I mean, like, but which is I think what Instagram is, isn't it? It's like, you kind of see all these people taking pictures of themselves and are trying to hold on to their looks, and trying to hold on to your looks is like you're trying to stop a picture from burning to ash, isn't it? Really,
Well, the thing is, you don't even see them anyway, because they've like added so many filters on top.
Oh God, yeah, it's
you
true.
wouldn't even recognise them in the street.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Like, look at me, I've got 50,000. Because I mean, TikTok though is the new thing, isn't it? I think. Maybe do it on TikTok. The last lockdown I downloaded TikTok, and then about 2 weeks ago I was like, oh God, just get rid of that crap off your phone.
Yeah.
So I deleted it. But I'm kind of tempted but it's just like stop, because then you become addicted on your phone all day. That's and you don't go out and get your exercise, do you? You've got to get out.
That's true. You have to get out of the house. You're for your mental health, and like you got some. I guess Brighton got some beautiful areas to walk around as well, isn't it? It's just like, oh man, the air.
No, I'm really lucky actually, because the beach is like 2 minutes from my front door.
Brilliant.
And then I've got my roof terrace, obviously where Jonathan lives, my Seagull, and then just opposite where I live, there's a park. Well, I say park. It's called Sussex Square Gardens, and it's the apparently. It was the inspiration for where Lewis Carroll was inspired to write Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, right.
Because his sister used to live because I live in old Regency buildings, and his sister back in the day used to live on the top corner, and he used to go and regularly visit. So obviously he'd use the gardens, which private, you have to have a key to go in. But there's a little tunnel that goes, a secret tunnel that goes to the beach. Wow. And they think that's what inspired the rabbit hole.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's great. So you go through that. You can go through that, or to the beach? You can go through that to the
Yeah,
beach?
I've got my little, talk to me nicely. Next time you're in Brighton, I'll show you my tunnel.
Nice. Oh, can't wait. Lockdown is going to be over soon. That's going to be great. So, like, I ask this everyone I talk to, how they see themselves in comedy. It's like, the question is, when you go on stage, what kind of archetype do you see yourself as when you go on stage? Like, like, say, for example, Sean Mio describes himself as a hired gun who goes around the country like a gunslinger. I mean, that's a very aggressive.
He certainly is.
But you've seen his act. He's just like, he's like miserable and like, in a fun way, fun, angry. So how do you see yourself as Charmaine? How do you see yourself?
Do you know what? I don't see my, because I haven't got the mouth. I don't like she has, but I always not a truth teller, but an observational storyteller, I suppose. But whereas Joan Rivers is always and always will be my sort of comedy hero. And I wish I could be as brash as she is. And I mean, I can be, but I mean, I know she really pushed the envelope, didn't she? But I'm probably a more mellow version of that. Just telling people my experiences of how dreadful my life is.
Okay, great. So like in a way, okay, right. I'm gonna try and push it a little bit further to ask you, okay, if there's do you see yourself as like in a role of a job rather than like a comedian, like an archetype? Like, I mean, this is not what you would be, but like a plumber that does something, goes to work and does this, and I go on stage and I just like, do you know what I mean? If you ever thought yourself in in a role within the role? This is getting Inception now. I'm sorry.
No, do you know? I've never really thought of it like that. I think I do sometimes think it's just cheaper than therapy.
There you go. That's great. That's it. So just like what would be like a damaged soul just trying to therapize their life for the approval of others. You get this, right, guys? Okay, yeah, great. I get it too. Great. That's brilliant. That's it.
Yeah. I'm just a lost soul. Just No, I do think, honestly, because that's how it started. Like I say, because I was so depressed and whatever, and my friend got me into it, and I do look at it as a way to get stuff off my chest. Because I've always sort of been the person to laugh in the face of adversity, or taught myself to do that. I taught myself either to sit there and be a victim and go, oh, woe is me, what a shit life I've got, or, oh, come on, Charmaine, have a laugh. You've had it a lot worse, and people have it a lot worse. So, let's sort yourself out.
Yeah, that's it. To have a big talk to yourself in the mirror. Look, come on, what are you doing? Come on, get up. Wash your face.
But so I still think it is therapy, going out there going, and this is what happened to me. Yeah. this is how mad my life is. Yeah. And thank you for paying me, not having to pay you. Yeah.
That's true. This really helps. It definitely helps me as one less reason to be depressed. When lockdown finishes, are you thinking of going to maybe start up a comedy night again, or are you going to leave Funny Fursdays?
Well, just before it all kicked off, I was doing a great night, actually. It was in Peacehaven, Comedy Wings it was called, at Burger and Bird in Peacehaven, and it was great. It held about 200 in the audience. Wow. Oh God, those days are going far, aren't they? And it was great, and it was like a semi-pro night. It was always sold out every month, and it was going great. And then obviously lockdown came, and then it all got cancelled. Then about 4 or 5 weeks ago, they got in touch, because I think we all thought, lockdown's going to be eased, and we were going to live happily ever after, and then we can put it on half capacity. How about the end of January? It's not going to happen, is it now? But hopefully one day. In the meantime, I'm just going to have to reinvent myself until which times I can go back and promote nights and stuff. Yeah.
Do you have a name for your character that you're going to potentially put on TikTok?
I don't know. No, maybe some people could come up with some suggestions.
Yeah, sure. All right, cool. All right, nice. And where can we find you?
Well, on Facebook, obviously, Charmaine Davies. It's amazing how many people get my name wrong. And it's Davies with an IES. Yeah. And that's my New Year's resolution, to kick anyone's ass that gets my name. The amount of posters, I tell you, the amount of promoters that go, do you want to do my night or whatever? And they'll go, oh yeah, that'll be lovely. Do you want a headline? Yeah. And then I get confused with Charmaine Hughes a lot. I think, I got booked once because they thought I was her, and I turned up and they were like, who are you?
Oh no.
But it was a great night, and they went, how did we not know about you before? And I'm like, that was a good error, wasn't it?
It's an error in judgment, which is also a good judgment.
But you can find me on Instagram, Charmaine D_, I think that is. I don't know what my handles, isn't it? It's a modern. thing. Got a handle. Just Google me, find me. I'll be somewhere. Stalk me. I don't care.
And so so we'll find you on TikTok, all those places with random characters potentially, and with Jonathan and Colin, the Seagull and Crab.
And they've got their own page too. That's actually,
great.
the
Okay,
Jonathan
cool.
Seagull Picture Shop on Facebook.
Nice. Get a mug. I drink a lot of tea. I'd love a mug.
I'll have Jonathan on one side and then your name on the other.
Nice.
There we go.
Yeah, like so with the you can maybe do like, you know, like a little face on the crab and then like Jonathan's little arm, wing around it like that, isn't it? You know, it'd be nice. Kind of cute. But like Charmaine, but also say Charmaine, right? I was like, that thing about the get your name wrong. I totally feel your pain with that, right? I totally get you. No one can pronounce my last name, so I'm trying to get rid of it. But Charmaine Davies getting mixed up with I'm fucking mixed it up myself.
No, Charmaine Davies.
Charmaine
now,
Davies.
When I did this morning, Holly Willoughby kept bloody calling me Charlene.
Oh God.
And I mean, if you see my face on it, you'll just see me getting angry at it. So Charlene, tell me. I'm like, I'm going to punch Holly Willoughby in the face in a minute, but I didn't. So there we go.
Charmaine Davies, right? And then like so I got you wrong with Charmaine Hughes. So they've got both of your names completely wrong, like in one thing. That is incredibly hard to do. That's like you're insulting two people at once. Oh God! And
the thing is, though, they're spelled literally nothing like each other.
No.
And also when promoters book me, you know, and they go, "Oh, why don't you just check how my name is spelled on Facebook if you're not sure?"
Exactly. Just just kind of, or ask. Just go. Okay, I know I'm going to fuck this up, but hey, just kind of go. How's your name spelled? Right. Okay, there we go. Done. But I was gonna say,
I've been called all my life. I've been called ridiculous, like Chowmaine.
Oh come on.
Chicken Chowmaine,
Really?
Charmaines,
Whoa, God.
Champagne, Chandelier.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So as long as somebody calls me, I don't care, quite honestly.
That's true, isn't it? As long as it's a nice message. Someone talk to me. But are you with your with the shows? Are you writing any like a new written any jokes recently? Have you managed to get your head around it and just get to it like for the next half an hour, or that you're going to potentially do at a Fringe?
Do you know, I've always wanted to do this show about Joan Rivers, funnily enough.
Oh, yeah.
And I should write one and do that. That should be an idea of mine. And I've sort of been writing it sort of skeleton-wise for a bit. So I guess now or never, I should get right down to writing that. But I must admit, as far as sort of trying to promote myself, I think I'm just going to try and stick to the content for the online stuff rather than focus on writing stuff, because then if I carry on writing stuff, I mean, not that it's a bad thing, but I have so much stuff that I won't even know where to begin once all this is over.
You'd be like, was that a word? No, that was like a whole paragraph in just like less than 5 seconds.
Because things change in a heartbeat, and what's current right now is not going to be current in 6 months' time if we're ever out of this. And people go, what the hell are you talking about? That was like 6 months ago, but you've not written anything new. Yeah. So, I'm up to the minute kind of gal. Yeah. Give me a gig, I'll write it 5 minutes before.
Nice. Wing it. That's it. So Wings and Burgers. That's a perfect name, was it, for the night? Yeah. Nice.
What a professional.
Oh, brilliant.
She just wings it.
Nice. I wish you luck on the new show, potentially with Joan Rivers.
That'll be quite exciting, actually. I've been working on that for a bit. And it seems like I'm going to have a few more months on my hands.
Yeah, I think so. I think we're all going to have to find something
to do.
do.
What are you going to do with yourself?
I'm just
empty more cupboards.
Writing like I've kind of done nearly. I've got one cupboard left, and I'm a bit worried if I finish that, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. Just put myself in the cupboard and lock the door, maybe. So it's like
take up needlecraft or something.
Yeah, like start crocheting things, and yeah, that's right. But all I can think of is ghosts now, and like I don't want to die. I can do that when I'm dead. So the thing is, when we're writing a show, I like to do the poster first.
Yes. That's a good plan.
Do you like to do that? So it feels like you've okay, I've done the poster now. I definitely need to write the show. This show is definitely happening. And like you go, okay, that poster inspires me to write something that definitely fits that. So when the people see it and go, oh, okay, we'll come to that.
Well, the last show I did with Michael Mooney was called Can You Put This in the Bin For Me?
Oh, yeah.
Which was basically a flyering technique. We'd go out flyering, and then more people are likely to take something off you if you say, can you put this in the bin for me? And they'll just take it rather than just go, no, I don't want it. If you go, come and see my show, they don't, will you put this in the bin for me? They immediately sort of have a reaction to take it. So that was purely it was purely a marketing technique. Can you put this in the bin for me? Which is our show. So me and Michael Mooney had our posters. I was in the bin. We had all these different poses, of course, messing around for the photo shoot. But yeah, I think that was great because it really worked. People would just take the flyer off you and they go, oh, But come see the show, thanks.
You Jedi mind trick them, don't you? It's like, oh,
Yeah, that's what you got to do.
What? I want to be nice, but I don't want to, like, they've asked me to put this in the bin, but I'm going to put this in the bin. But now I don't want to do it because they just told me to put it in the bin. Because now I feel, so many mixed messages here in my brain. Which one do I follow?
Yeah, I'm only there to fool the public.
Yeah, I choose what I want to do. Actually, I'm putting this in my bag. I'm coming to your show. Okay, how'd you like that? Actually, that's exactly what I wanted you to do. Yeah, you show me. You show me
when
by
we can
putting.
actually talk and go near humans.
You show me by coming to my show and putting money in that bucket or paying before the show. Oh, by the way, I'll book my whole family. My whole family going to come.
What was the weirdest thing you've ever had in a bucket?
Oh God, I've had I had a rabbit charm.
Oh, it's a rabbit.
Weird. Yeah, it's like not like the charity shop delivery that you had, but no, because you would see that, wouldn't you?
That was a great callback. That was.
As a pull, was it like some? Yeah, you'd see that in the bucket. I mean, it would be hilarious if they turned it on before it. Well, what's going on? I mean, this is
all your chains starts changing around.
Totally. That's it. Yeah, that's it. That'd been hilarious. But yeah, no, that's.
I got an eighth once in a.
Oh, that's nice. Nice. Happy days.
Because I'd been talking about smoking on stage, and that always seems to go down well with the Brighton lot, bizarrely enough, getting stoned.
Great.
And then I was there with the bucket at the end, and this girl went, I haven't got any money, I'm afraid. She went, but I think you might like this.
Nice.
And she dropped it in the bucket.
Nice.
So there's that. I was like, yeah, I'll accept that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Great. That's it. That's changed your bucket speech. And
and cannabis accepted. Cards and cannabis.
Brilliant. Nice. Medicinal purposes only. But yeah, so Charmaine.
Do you know what? I think for the new year I'm just going to call myself James Smith.
Oh yeah, that's right. So Charmaine Davies, thank you for coming on the show. I really appreciate it, and I nailed your name at the end there. And thank you for spending an hour with me talking about stuff and lockdown and the comedy. And I hope that Jonathan and Colin are going to go great, and then the Joe River show is going to really take off, and all the TikTok stuff. Just do it. Just tuck it out there. Just do it.
Well, it's been good to talk to somebody with another name that's unpronounceable. We should start our own little club. People with strange names that people can't actually say.
You can butcher my name now if you want to try it. You can go for it if you want. I'll allow it. I won't edit out.
I'll just call you Winter. You're all right. It's dreadful doing a radio show because people keep mentioning all these different names. And I just make a fool of myself every time. So it's not you. It's me as well.
I'll allow it. Oh, great. Charmaine Davies, thank you so much.
Take care. Thank you.
And that was episode 93 with a very funny and totally lovely human being, Charmaine Davies. Charmaine Davies on all the social medias. If you ever see her on a bill or on a poster, go and see her stuff. She's an absolutely brilliant comedian and a totally lovely person to boot. Now look, that doesn't always go together. Comedians sometimes are horrible people. A lot of people say, oh, I haven't met a bad person in comedy. I've met some awful people. There's some awful people, but a lot of people don't say it because, they think it's going to ruin their career. You know, all right, I'm not giving out names, but Charmaine is not one of those people. So if you ever see her on a bill or her poster, go check her live stuff out. She's absolutely brilliant, lovely comedian. She'll be doing shows in Brighton because that's where she's from. Also, update on Jonathan the Seagull. Unfortunately, Charmaine had to move, so unfortunately their relationship ended. But Charmaine said, I hope that people moved into the flat where I was are fostering Jonathan, looking after him like I looked after him as well. Well, fingers crossed that's happening. But yeah, so that's episode 93. And I hope you enjoyed it. And if you're ever down in Brighton, Charmaine runs 2 gigs as well. She runs Comedy Wings, which is at the Burger and Bird in Peace Havens, and also Funny Fursdays is back on at the Hotel Pelirocco. And because the person who didn't like fun, I think maybe wants some more fun. I mean, after 2 years of COVID, we all need a bit of fun. And I'll say this before I go, that we just got through January. My New Year's resolution is to do less, but more of what I enjoy. Because last few years, I've been smashing the shit out of myself. And sometimes you feel something just snap inside you. You don't do any more. So I'm going to be doing some serious, just sort of like, coasting, just relaxing, enjoying life, seeing what pops up. I mean, I'll be working, but, I won't be killing myself. I've been killing myself the last few years. I mean, not 15 years. But I've got I'm in a nice place. So I hope you are too. And you know, right, if your New Year's resolution is real tough, just try and remember to be good to yourself. Because we're at the end of January. We've got February to do. Okay, it's a shorter month. But you know what? There's a few more months left in the year. Fingers crossed, a few more years left in the life. Do you know what I mean? So look, if you like this podcast, we're on Facebook. We're there. We have a page. You can go to Twitter. You can follow me at Winter Dominus. I'm also on Instagram at Winter Dominus as well. That's Winter, Dominus. Now, if you like this podcast enough and you feel like you want to donate, just go to Patreon, type in The Comedy Defect Podcast, or donate as little or as much as you feel this podcast is worth. And if you can't donate, that's okay. Just tell your friends about your favourite episode, or go to the podcast app and leave us a nice, honest review, because it tells people where we are and what we're up to. And that's it for this episode of the Comedy Defect Podcast. Next month for February, we've got Callum Ross, who is the Roastmeister for Roast Battle UK, which they hold at Angel Comedy Club. So that's all I'm going to say is, I hope you had a nice January. I hope your February's good. We'll see you at the end of that one.